Good morning, friends. Alrighty, I wanted to hop on here real quick to talk about how to have more time without losing sleep. Okay, so how can we get more time in our day without having to wake up even earlier or go to bed even later, right? Because most of us, or at least for myself, go to bed when I need a certain amount of hours of sleep and then wake up because I have to get up at that time to give myself enough time to be ready for the day, right? So a lot of times it's like I just don't have any extra time. I don't have any extra time during my day. And I've fallen into that loop as well. And I'm going to talk about some of the reasons why I fall into that loop. But I've learned there are ways to get more time in your day without having to change your sleeping schedule. Okay. For some of us, maybe that's a piece of it. Okay. So, the biggest thing in having more time, I have found, is getting crystal clear on your intentions. Okay. Crystal clear. Okay. Hey, Michelle. Because a lot of times, if we're not crystal clear on our intentions and the things we're doing, then time just slips away, right? And you're like, I got nothing done. I sat here for hours and I feel like I've gotten nothing done. So with that, right, we have our to-do list and things like that. But I also feel like it's getting crystal clear on what's important to you so that you know what you're giving up, right? Because every time we say yes to something, we're saying no to something else. And so it's basic, if you know economics, it's called opportunity cost, right? What are you giving up in order to do the thing that you're doing? Okay. And I find that for me, when I feel like I'm not having enough time, it's usually because I'm giving up the things that I didn't actually want to give up. Okay, so either I'm, pop onto social media for a second, I'm like, shoot, that was a half an hour, right? Or I sit down to watch one episode on TV and then I end up watching 2 or 3. Okay, so that's why if we're crystal clear on our intentions, those things we decrease some of those time sucks or, getting off track, right? So being crystal clear on what am I giving up to do this, right? When I'm sitting on social media for half an hour, then I'm like, okay, what am I giving up during this time? Is this time that I could be spending with my kids? Is this time that I could be, throwing a load of laundry in? Is this time that I could be, listening to an audiobook or actually reading a book instead? So that's the biggest thing. And the 3 things for me that I feel like I end up when I feel like I don't have enough time is when I'm in overwhelm, meaning I feel like there's too much to get done and not enough time to do it. And what I do then is I just make a list of all of the things that are in my brain that I feel like I need to get done, and I choose my top 5. These 5 things are the most important. Then if I get those 5 things done, right, because our brain can only handle so many things, then I'm like, okay, what are my next 3? What are my next 5? And that really tends to help me figure out, get over the overwhelm, right? And then as I cross them off, I get a little bit more energy and a little bit more energy and a little bit more energy because it's exciting getting those things done. Okay. The second thing is when I lose track of my priorities or my intentions, right? We need to get really clear on our intentions so that we can recognize when we're not lining up with those, right? And so for me, that takes the form of feeling like I'm out of balance, right? If I'm out of like sync with my intentions, then I feel out of balance. And a lot of times when I'm like, there's not enough time, there's not enough time, there's not enough time, it's because I'm like, what am I doing instead, right? So for me, I try to be very intentional about spending time individually playing with my kids, right? And so sometimes I'm like, there's not enough time to do that. It's because I didn't make it a priority, right? I didn't put it on the schedule, and then I let everything just come before that, right? So that's why I say it's super important to get crystal clear on your intentions so that you know when you're not following it, right? And again, when we say yes to something, we're saying no to something else. So sometimes we've just taken on too many things from too many different people, and we're like, yeah, I'll do that, yeah, I'll do that, yeah, I'll do that. And then, right, we've lost sight of our intentions, right? And so for me, those are the ways that I get the biggest time back. And there's a couple other tricks that I have and things like that. I actually talk about them in a group I run. You can just check out my profile and it's in there. Ways to actually use the time that you do get back better. Okay? So again, just get crystal clear on your intentions. Think about what you're giving up for the things you're doing, right? Are you giving up sleep so that you can wake up early to be a little bit more productive before your kids wake up? Or are you giving up that, extra time to get more sleep, right? And I do both depending on the day, right? So just keep that in mind, right? What are your intentions, and, what are you giving up to do those things, right? Because you're always giving up something. And then also just be aware of when you're feeling like there's not enough time, where are you out of sync with things, right? So I will also leave you with the affirmation that I use pretty frequently to help me. Hey, Chris, great questions and suggestions. Thank you. Awesome. I'm glad that's helpful. I will also leave you with an affirmation that I use on a day-to-day basis, especially on the days that I'm feeling sluggish, or I am feeling that overwhelm and not enough time, or I'm just feeling not very productive. And that is, I have an abundance of time, money, and energy. Okay. And I just kind of say that over and over to remind myself that time is that relative, right? I have an abundance of time, money, and energy. Alrighty. I'm just going to leave you guys with that. You have a fantastic Tuesday, and I will see you guys all soon on here. Hey, Frankie, I just caught the tail end. I was talking about time, so you'll have to go back and rewatch it. You guys have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.